Hello, I'm Steve-O the Outlaw, and this is my Sunset Start Guide. Something, some things you want to be doing throughout the run, and you'll see me doing, is to constantly check for favourable deals in order to get gold or gold per turn. So get diplomatic income where you can. You want to fight battles manually to reduce losses and ensure Sun Ce gets jewels. We'll see why that's important shortly. You want to release captured generals for gold unless they have valuable ancillaries or you want to recruit them later. Also release non-unique generals from your own court, and I wouldn't worry too much about getting negative income as long as you can keep 2 or 3 turns worth of income in your treasury. Now Sun Ce has this reckless luck mechanic, and this decays at a flat rate of 10 per turn. If this reaches 0, he dies. So for Sun Ce campaign you need to be quick. He can also share expertise, which allows you to rank up generals through your court. Now to gain reckless luck, you have these objectives. In this campaign, we will be securing this one. So secure the mountains, secure the Middle Yangtze, secure the base resources, and secure campaign provisions. These 4, it takes about 20 turns to achieve. And there's another one that you can aim for, is this one and this one. And this will also gain you the achievement, like my father before me, to achieve 5 ambitions before the year 200. So on turn 1, you want to move in and attack Hefei. Now for this YouTube video, I won't be showing you the battles, but I will be fighting the majority of them. So we got a close victory. Now you want to loot and occupy this first settlement. It does reduce settlement levels, so if you're doing this to a level 1 settlement, it will reduce it to 0, which means there'll be no garrison there to defend it. But this is a level 2 one, so now we complete this, you get this one shoe supplies, growing might, which gives us some replenishment bonus. And replenishment is really important because you need to be really fast and constantly be attacking. So now you've secured that, you want to repair these. Why you do that will be apparent next turn. We also have these new generals join us. You want to release Handang. You see that our heir Sun Tran is 12, so it's going to be a few years before he comes of age. So we want to make our mother the heir, Lady Wu. Not only does this keep her happy, we also then get these buffs. +5 satisfaction, which is important, and -5 corruption, which isn't really that important early game, but becomes more important the further you go into a campaign. So with Sun Ce's army, you want to recruit Chengpu, and then recruit an archer unit with Chengpu, and then raise Huangai. Now in the court, share experience with Huangai. Because one of your legacies is to have a vanguard at level 4 and a sentinel at level 4 who is over 40 years old. We have Huan Gai and Cheng Pu, both of which served Sun Tzu's father. Oh, we've really got lucky this time. We have that. That's going to help a lot. Okay, what we're going to do... These starting ancillaries are random, so sometimes you can get lucky, sometimes you can get really unlucky. Another good one to have at the beginning is, I think it's called Water Clock. It gives you replenishment buffs. Anyway, you notice here it says faction wide. If it's Prime Minister or Heir, so we'll give this one to Sun Tzu because it buffs his instinct and expertise. And then with my heir, which is Lady Wu, this will change in your campaign because you won't get the same ancillaries. You might get better, you might get worse. If you really felt they were bad, you could re-roll them. If you notice now, I've got minus 607 income, and our treasury's only at 494. So what we have to do is get a trade agreement. Now, if you look, the one with Yuan Shu is actually more profitable, and we could get some more income out of him. But we're going to get the one with the Han Empire, and you'll see why in a bit. Don't think we'll be able to get anything out of him. No, it doesn't matter too much. So you see that brings it down to 395. Now that's the end of turn 1. So to recap, take Liu Jiang, loot occupy, repair the buildings, get a trade agreement with the Han Empire, release Han Dang from your court, make Lady Wu your heir, share expertise with Huan Gai and give him flexibility because then he gets +5 to replenishment. Recruit an archer unit to Cheng Pu's army, and of course you have to raise Huan Gai. That's the end of turn 1. So turn 2, you are faced with this dilemma, which means to give this Imperial Seal to Yuan Shu or to keep it. We're going to follow the story and give it to him. Also gives us this and some diplomatic relations with him. Excuse me. So because we ranked up the Vanguard to level 4, we completed that bit. Okay, so with Liu Jiang, you want to demolish these buildings and downgrade them. You'll see why in the next turn. With Sun Tzu's army, you want to march all the way down to here, in force march. With Huan Gai, march him over here to Juchao. This completes one of our missions, and you notice a new army spawned down here next to Sun Tzu. Zhou Yu's army, which is Sun Tzu's sworn brother, friend. So we want to get that charge bonus. Now Zhou Yu spawned. Put Sun Tzu in the river, River Yangtze. Move Huan Gai into force march. And sail him down towards Wuhu. It's also worth checking what deals you can get. If they're favourable like this, you want to try and get some gold per turn. Usually you get more gold for gold per turn than you would in a straight deal, but sometimes it's worth checking out. You see these here, so Over 10 turns, that's how much I'd get. And clearly, this is better. So we take that.
你我已达成共识。
Now, our vassal master is Yuan Shu. And his special thing is legitimacy. So if we support his legitimacy, ask for regular payments. Try and get as much as you can, because every little does help. That'll do. It annoys Liu Biao and Yuan Shao, but it doesn't matter. That's going to give us plus income. So that's turn 2. You want to give the seal to Yuan Shu. Demolish, downgrade the buildings in Hefei. Force march Sun Ce to the Yangtze Bank. And then move Wang Goi into Juchao territory, which spawns Zhou Yu. Then you move Sun Ce onto the river, Yangtze, and force march Wang Goi also onto the river. And that's the end of turn 2. Plus, try and get the deal with the gold. Turn 3. We have this dilemma. Yuan Shu wants Liu Jiang. This is why we demolished the buildings in the previous turn. It gave us a couple of thousand gold. And we don't need that province. So we're going to hand it over. And this is also more beneficial to us. Because Wuhu is a port, which opens up more trade capabilities or possibilities than having a landlocked place like Hefei. So you want to move Sun Ce up and siege. Bring Wang Goi up onto the banks. You want to force march Zhou Yu and merge him. Oh. No, I misclicked. Damn. That's going to slow us down by a turn, probably. That misclick. But ideally, you want to be merging those armies in that turn. Our casualties are low, so we're just delegating this battle. This might work.
向前进军，众将且于堂前谈笑欢饮，深思熟虑，破浪前行。
It means Sun Ce's not going to get as much replenishment, but they're merged, and that's important for the next turn. So we've got some new missions now. They recruit more people to your court, etc., etc. So we got, for taking that settlement, we got Le Fan, release him from your service. Now with Zhou Yu, recruit another archer unit. So for turn 3, you want to hand over Liu Jiang, siege Wuhu with Sun Ce, move Wang Goi next to Wuhu, move Zhou Yu onto the Yangtze and merge with Wang Goi on the bank, recruit an archer militia to Zhou Yu, take Wuhu and occupy it,
相信直觉。
and then release Lu Fan. Also, always check for potential deals. And that's the end of turn 3. Turn 4, and we get a reform. So you want to take this reform foreign envoys, which will give you another trade agreement. Now, the reason we got the initial trade agreement with the Han Empire is because this becomes our new capital, and we can continue our trade, which will mean we have some cash. Now, here you want to look for one that really wants the deal and has some money to splash. Now, we already have a per turn deal with him, so we're gonna go for a cash injection this time. I'll do.
算是谈妥了。
Because we're also getting trade income now. You can see that we're no longer in the red. But like I said at the beginning, it doesn't matter about going in the red too much.
拿起武器。
You can see Liu Yao's coming.
我军所向披靡，快点儿！向世人宣告我军大
If we're
业。
lucky, maybe we can fight him this turn.
该当如此。释放怒火，消灭敌军。
He fled. You want to make sure you end your turn.
直干云霄。原地候命。
In your territory, if you can go into ambush. Now this army may be attacked on my next turn. Zhang Liao is in the pool. I like to recruit unique generals. You don't need to do this, and it will impact my finances a bit. But Zhang Liao's my favourite character, so I'm going to recruit him. These things are all range, so it'll be completely different in your campaign. Now, because my finances are looking quite well, I'm actually going to recruit Zhang Liao to this army. And you notice I'm keeping a buffer, so I could recruit more units. Let's recruit more units. This will be different in your in your campaign. Just make sure you have enough money in the treasury to cover a few turns, because you're going to be attacking every turn or two, so you'll be recovering income at quite a fast rate. As I've got Zhang Liao in my court, I'm going to give him the position of chance. Oh no, we'll give it to Wang Gai. And another thing about Sun Ce, his court positions, the buffs improve with the rank of the general. Okay, that's the end of turn 5. Now it's turn 5. I made a mistake earlier. So as you can see, they fell from my ambush, and we've weakened them considerably. So we want to bring
待时而发。进攻！养兵千日，用兵一时。
Sunset up.
心怀怒火，奋勇杀敌。
And siege there. Bring one guy up to support.
前进！烈火燎原。
As you can see, predicted casualties are low. We may be able to get them to surrender. But I want experience, so we're going to delegate.
国军如有天助，气焰大盛。
We want to recruit him. Well, we get him in an event, so release.
都放了吧。
Occupy.
此城归我军所有了。
So we've got 2 new generals, Jiang Qin and Zhou Tai. Now you want to check to see if they ever have any good items, but I release the non-uniques mainly because it's just extra salary upkeep. You will have to juggle satisfaction because you won't have the +10 item that I picked up.
拿起武器。
So turn 5, release Jiang Qin.
唯有扫清六合，天下才能平定。
Let's move Huang Gai towards
出发。
Po Yang. I'm going to recruit Lady Yu. It's going to take my gold per turn over 1,000 that we're going to be out of pocket, which is a bit risky. You don't have to do that when you're playing. See if I get in a deal with Yang Feng to get some more income. Remember, every little helps. He's poor though, so just gonna double check, because sometimes if they're poor you can get more out of them in a single deal. No. We have roughly 3 turn cushion. So we can get some more money off Kong Rong.
很高兴与你见面。
This will be different every time. So when you're playing, just check what trade deals you can get.
你我已达成共识。该当如此。
Now that's the end of turn 5. You should have Zindu Po Yang, and if you can afford to strengthen your armies, do so. And make sure you release Chang Qing. Now turn 6. You can see Sun Ce can't reach there.
恪守职责。
But Huang Gai can.
拿起武器。
So I'm going to bring Huang Gai down to siege Po Yang, and then bring Sun Ce down to support.
打起精神来。燃遍天下。
As you can see, casualties are low, so let's just delegate.
全力奋战，则战无不胜。此城甚善，先收下了。
Then we get Taisi Chi. Ideally now, if you haven't already, you want to start recruiting more soldiers. and having a bit of a beefier army. Force march Sun towards Poyang, Haihun, maybe? Now let's see what we can get out of Liu Bei. His economy's not that good. We'll get this deal, selling him some food. And then we'll get a non-aggression pact with him. But let's get a lump sum. It's not loads, but like I said, every little bit helps. Now that's the end of turn 6. Now turn 7. If you have weaker armies, you want to try and keep these two armies together. If you are confident and they're stronger, then it's quicker to split them up and have different objectives. So as this run is going okay, and they're quite... they both have kind of foolish armies, I'm going to split them up. So on turn 7, I want to siege Huhan. And then bring Huan Gai down to Guiyan. Now I'm going to delegate both of these battles because I have a turn or two to mess around. But I'd recommend that you fight them personally. So this is the reason you want to fight battles, because losing a whole unit can really slow you down. See what more accessories we've got. Let's give you that. Give Cheng Pu the good bow that we stole from Tosi Chi, who's also joined. And if you don't have a big satisfaction thing like me, you want to try and keep an eye on satisfaction. You can give out court ranks and stuff, assign them to positions, but just beware that if you do, the salary increases. So I try and do it when I have enough money to. But that's the end of turn 7. So turn 8 is where things get a little bit interesting. So Obviously, no Total War campaigns are the same. So when you're playing, the further away you get from the beginning, the more difference there's going to be in your campaign. So I'll tell you the general overall strategy, just in case your campaign takes a really different turn. But now that you've secured Po Yang, and you should have Yuzhang, if you don't have this place here, you want to bring your armies down from here and claim that. Or if you wiped out Liu Yao, you can even get pieces of them. It's up to you, really. It's not part of your objective, so it doesn't really matter that much. But now what you want to do is start bringing your armies back, because we have to go this way. As we're still a vassal of Yuan Shu, if we want to declare war on anyone, we have to get his permission.
很高兴见到足下。
So we're gonna need him to go to war with Yan Boihu. Well, there's other ways you can take this now. Like you could split these armies up together completely, and just have one that comes around here and clears these areas. And you could send Sun Ce up now to take Changsha and attack Guangzhou if you can get Yuan Shu to agree. But that is risky because your armies are split up. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring Sun Ce back so these two armies are united. And that's the end of turn 8. Turn 9. Oh, this fired a bit early. So this will eventually happen if your game hasn't bugged out. Yuan Shu has declared himself emperor. Okay, so you can support him, and that gives a -10 satisfaction, a dissatisfaction debuff. Because we have that +10 item, it wouldn't actually bother us that much. But majority of people won't have that, so we're gonna rebel. This gives us +5. Reckless per turn, by the way. Now we can share expertise. We want to do it with Cheng Pu. Now the good thing about this happening a little bit early, I guess, is that now Yuan Shu can't dictate who we declare war to, and we're no longer sending him loads of money. But he may come and attack us. So what we're going to try and do to begin with is see if we can get peace with him. .8 is quite high. People in any factions, so let's see if we can join this faction. No. It's because we have this. Big untrustworthy debuff. A negative of that event firing as early as it did. Let's go to war Yan Boihu. We're about to take Lean. Take Sunset out to force march and move him up, because once we take this, we want to be getting replenishment. Another negative of that firing so early is being untrustworthy means people are less likely to accept your deals. You'll see why that's a problem. Usually it happens maybe around turn 12, so you may get a respite. You get this here, another trade agreement, which is what you want to get in your run. But because we have a huge untrustworthy negative, luckily this guy here wants to still trade with us, so we'll get that deal. You see, now we're getting plus. So if you can afford to upgrade stuff, do. So I'm going to upgrade these mines just because it gives us extra defense and 100 extra income per turn. Now, I would say upgrade this, but we may have to go and defend, or we may lose Woohoo, because if Yuan Shu's coming to attack, he's likely going to attack this place here. Now, that's the end of turn 9. So turn 10. You see a lot of pop-ups. Legacy of Wu on turn 10, if you should have this one complete. Maybe heading towards this one, the Zindu one. And the Old Guard should be complete. You see that gives +1 Reckless Luck. If things go well, you should be able to get these quite soon as well. So Yan Baihu moved to defend Xinan. In your campaign, obviously anything could happen. But generally, once you've took Lin, you want to be heading to Shi Jin. And if you can, with these, especially with this one, siege it with Sun Ce, so you're working towards the legacy. That means you have to capture 5 settlements. I'm going to check to see if Yuan Shu will take peace. Nope, which means he's probably coming to attack me. That untrustworthiness hitting so soon is going to pose a challenge. Don't want to risk them getting captured. Zhang Liao's not happy. We don't have anything that we can give him, but now's the time. We can hand out some ranks. Why are they so unhappy? Desires higher court position. Okay, we've unlocked some higher court positions. So this one here gives you a trade agreement, and it's a good one to have. Trade is good. And this one here, Director of Records, will give you an administrator. And as these rank up, those buffs increase. So Zhou Tai isn't deployed at the moment, so we're just going to make him the administrator. Because if a place gets attacked, the administrator can take part in the battle. The only one we can deploy to is Po Yang, so let's put him there. Fingers crossed we can get another trade deal. Shashi 2.0. He doesn't need food. Let's see if there's... We've got no ancillaries to give him. Let's give him 2 food. Because we need money, more importantly at the moment. I'm gonna delegate this, but because I'm quite secure and safe. Obviously this is gonna incur greater losses on my part, so I would recommend you fight the battle yourself. I'm releasing him because I want to recruit him. So if you notice, my reckless luck hasn't actually really dropped below this 1 bar, so we've retained these benefits. Now we've completed the one where he has to capture. It's just jewels now. And that's easier to do when you actually are controlling the battles, because you can ensure he fights other generals. And of course, if you're playing romance, you can initiate duels. I need to be careful because Yuan Shu might be coming to attack me. It's weird that it shouldn't have fired when it did, because he's not actually at war with the Han Empire. And that's the end of turn 10. Turn 11, there's going to be a little problem. As you can see, I'm going to lose this place here. It was a possibility, that's why I didn't upgrade it. Now you want to recruit a catapult in Zhou Yu's army. So you can attack and take this on the same turn. Bring Sunset up to support. Casualties are low. If casualties are low, always delegate. Unless you want to personally fight the battles, but yeah. The losses are not too bad. See, turn 11, and we've destroyed Yan Baihu, secured Po Yang Zindu. Wait. Sadly, though, I'm pretty certain we're gonna lose. Zindu. Yeah, that's turn 11 done. So we lost Zindu, which will slow us down a little bit. Lubu's shown up. I'm gonna recruit him, but he's gonna leave, isn't he? But let's recruit him. Oh, I got Lu Meng. I'm gonna release him from service, but he has an armor, so we want that. I'm pretty certain Lu Meng will be unique one day, but today he's not. So let's release him. Oh, where's Lu Bu? Oh, he's been recruited into Liu Bei's faction. Yeah. That must be part of the story events. I'm gonna bring Sun Ce back to take Zindu. Meanwhile, let's bring Wang Gai to attack Wan Ling. Casualties are high, so I'm going to fight this battle. So we got the victory there. They're destroyed. The benefit of having him up here now is we can combat Yuan Shu. Now I know the income situation is quite bad, but I'm going to recruit, so you should recruit some more units. Because next time we want to attack there. So that's the end of turn 12. Turn 13, we're going to push. We might have to siege here for a turn. On the plus side, this should be undefended. I'm just going to delegate this. That was a big, big problem there. Huge amount of income though. It has this. This is a good base for the economy. Now I'm just going to siege because I want them to attack me. So I can use my cavalry to greater effect. Because we now have an okay economy. Let's build some more units and create a full stack there. This slowly goes down, does take time. But anyway, that's the turn. End of turn 13. We got the victory when they attacked. I'm gonna take the +5 replenishment. +5%, sorry. And they attacked and we won. So we're now hitting turn 14. I'm gonna get composure for the night battle bonus, because if we're gonna have to defend this place, it may come in handy if they're attacking in multi-stacks. So I was a bit unlucky in terms of when that event fired. If you can, you know, you could do this a lot quicker if these two armies were both pushing this way. But this army now is pinned down. It has to defend against Yuan Shu. Oh, actually no, it doesn't. We can get peace. So let's get peace with Yuan Shu, just because it's not beneficial to have that war while we want to advance. And we get peace with Wu Jing as well, who is actually Sun Tzu's uncle, I believe. We'll give him a favourable deal. Mates rates. Let's check what can be built. Upgrade this mine. Now with Wang Gai, we're heading down towards Wu. So that's turn 14. We've got these two complete. And that one. So long term, I would recommend going for this +10 replenishment, because Reckless Luck doesn't buff replenishment, and replenishment is very important. If your economy's in a bad way, you probably want to try and get industry buffs, because a lot of these minor settlements are industry based, so you've got copper mine, salt mine, copper mine, and iron mine. That's a strong economic base. Okay, so that's the end of turn 14. So now Yuan Shu is not going to attack us. Liu Bu's betrayed Liu Bei. with my spare income, I'm going to build some more units. I could move and attack that this turn. And the win is doable. You know, night battle, mainly an army of archers. Let's do it. I'm gonna have to fight this. And we got victory. Let's occupy. That's another legacy secured. So on turn 15, we've secured these 3 legacies. And it's just the Wang Lang one to go. And Wang Lang is pretty damn weak. So it's pretty quick to do. In fact, let's force march down here. Now, like with your spare income, as you pretty much have 2 full stacks pretty much, it's time to be building for the future, so upgrading buildings, etc, etc. Now let's see. Have a rank 4 commander or champion. So I don't have rank 2, rank 5 strategist or higher. I'm gonna give this to Lady Wu because actually no, yeah, I'll give it to Lady Wu. Because there's one to have 2 level 4 commander women and 2 level 4 sentinel women. Okay, so that's turn. Oh no, I just realised I had it paused. Apologies. This is you're gonna have missed out on something. So this turn recap, turn 18. We took Wushang, we moved Wang Gai here, we filled out our court. I'm going to invoke our council, gives us some buffs. You should really be doing this as soon as you get people on the council. I always forget. It's because we gave people council positions, you see that our income's gone down. So here we are, turn 19. Legacy of Wu. Next generation. Move whichever army you have there to attack Lin Hai. Yuan Lang is always going to be weak, so you can really wipe him out with one army. Especially if you have a full stack. The hardest of this strategy is the initial battle that you have with Liu Yao. Once that's done, Liu Yao's finished. And then Yan Baihu can pose a problem too. But there you have it. So it's spring 198, turn 19. We've completed this one. To secure the mountains. which gives you +3 public order, +2 reckless luck per turn, +2 available assignments, +2 reckless luck per turn, because we've secured the Middle Yangtze, we've secured base resources, and we've secured the campaign provisions. And as you see, all 4 of these give 2 reckless luck per turn, so you should be on +8. And then, because we shared expertise with Chengpu and Wangai, we also got this, which is +1. This dual one is another one that you should be able to do along the way, or if not along the way, in your coming battles. We completed these ones as well. Is there any more? No. You see, you get plus for just completing these randomly. But now you can kind of work on these as you see fit, or how's good for you, good for your strategy, or where you see yourself. This will also get you the achievement for getting +5 legacies under 200. Just a quick overview of where we are. We own all these territories here. Personally, I would recommend using one army to secure this southern area, while using Sun Ce to come in and wipe out Wang Zhu. If you are still at war with Yuan Shu, that's when you'll take care of him. But I would recommend defending primarily on this flank until you have secured these areas. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments. I've been Steve the Outlaw, and this is a quick start guide to the Sun Ce faction in A Well Betrayed. Thank you for watching. Goodbye. Live free, die well.